Katie.
Welcome to episode number 304, a Q&A.
We've had a lot of questions come in lately, so we thought we'd just go through them.
It has been a really long time since we did a Q&A.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to bring us your best information because you came equipped with a sweet tea.
I did.
Brewed at my home.
Made by Jack.
By my child. He's become quite the expert at sweet tea. Seems appropriate, actually, for my house.
Yeah.
But anyway. Okay, so we're just going to
dive right
into these questions. The good news is they are divided by topic.
Yes.
So we'll try to stay with something, and then we'll switch topics. And we're going to do as many as we can today, and then there'll be a part 2.
Yeah. So
that we hit them all.
Correct.
Okay. Are you ready?
We're going to start with systems, tools, and workflow.
Our favorite.
Category number 1. I was actually only surprised there was 3 questions here.
Yeah,
but maybe that's because we have done such a good job.
Our listeners know what's up.
Yes, they have their systems in place, so they only have a few questions.
I'm kind of glad you said that. These questions, if you did not get a request to give us a question, then you need to be on our email list.
Correct.
So everyone on the email list received an email requesting their questions.
And
That's where they came from.
We use the email list to help us brainstorm episode ideas.
All the time.
Topics, surveys.
Yep.
So we're always gathering data.
Always.
So how do they get on there?
If you go to the website, hustlehumblypodcast.com, you can just grab a freebie. That'll put you on there. You can go to /newsletter. That'll just put you on the main list.
Okay.
That'll work.
Great.
Get yourself something free if you're going to join the list.
Yeah, go to the freebies.
Why not?
Perfect.
Can I read you the first question?
Please.
Number 1. Would love to hear the systems, apps y'all use to help your business run more efficiently. and they said, for example, MileIQ.
Yes, MileIQ is how I track my mileage.
Do you use MileIQ?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. What other real estate apps do you use?
Okay, Trello.
Okay.
SkySlope is how our office tracks our paperwork for each transaction.
Okay.
Keep all of our documents. I really like SkySlope a lot.
I use Dotloop. It's the same function. I've never done SkySlope, so I don't know
So in Dotloop, you can have different transactions and...
I have what's called a loop, which is per that transaction. You can assign, you could put all the facts of the transaction, all your documents go there. It's the form fill. It's my e-sign. I can put in the service providers. I don't use it to the full.
Okay.
But I definitely use it to store my documents and get things signed and put the details of the transaction.
Sure.
And that's what my office uses, so I am required to use that.
Yeah. Hey there, are you looking for ways to save time and money in your business?
Email Templates 101 is the communication system you need to bring ease and efficiency to managing your transactions and clients.
Save time and avoid mistakes, all while providing a high level of service for your buyers and sellers.
In Email Templates 101, you'll get 13 downloadable buyer templates ready for your personal touches.
And 19 downloadable seller templates, plus 6 attachment checklist.
Head over to hustlehumblypodcast.com/courses to get yours today.
And then MailChimp is my email when I want to do a bulk email.
Okay.
And then my database is just my spreadsheet. So
yeah, good old Google Docs.
Yes, I always call it my Excel spreadsheet, but I need to realize it's been in the Google Doc for a minute.
I don't even have Microsoft Office on my computer.
Yeah.
I only use Google. So that would be one of mine.
So I think MileIQ is really the only thing I pay for.
Okay, that's interesting. Well, and then there's your standard real estate stuff. We have showing time through our board. That's how we do our showings. We have our Super E-Key. Obviously, I have an app for that. If I'm opening doors, again, I pay for that, and it's through our board. I keep a compass app on my phone.
Oh, I wouldn't even know how to use it.
Oh, well, you just click the button and it wherever your phone is pointed, it tells you what direction that is. I have had clients at many a showing be like, well, wait, which way is this house oriented? And I don't want to look like a dummy, so I just have a compass app. You need an app. How else would you know? Unless the sun was literally rising or setting.
Yeah.
Also, I keep the Dotloop app on my phone, Trello, if I'm going to use that. I keep a MLS like tab
Yeah.
on my phone, but it's not an app. Like
We're
our
so
Paragon,
basic.
it's very basic. So those are the apps on my phone.
But
I have
if
a
you would
mortgage
like
calculator.
If you would like a whole episode on tech tools, you can go way back to episode 8.
Yeah.
Which is funny because I don't think we have evolved in our tech tools.
I wonder, we used it then. I don't know if we talk about like Canva. If I'm making some sort of graphic or flyer, I'm just using, you could use free Canva.
I do use CapCut to speed up my videos.
Okay.
That's how I make them faster.
I like that.
Yeah.
For what? What are those videos for?
Like those are like the fast
when you're like walking through and then you're posting it? Okay.
Yes, when I'm walking through a house, but I want it to be faster.
Love it. Because you can speed it up in Instagram, but not on stories. You'd have to be like in a reel.
Okay.
You can do speeds.
I see. I did not.
Or like I can edit, probably your phone does it too. Like if I edit video in my phone, you can do speeds.
Oh.
Just an FYI.
Yeah.
Look, again, very simple, and we're just using the tools we have.
Sure.
that are around. Not anything crazy. All of my systems are my own that I made, and most of them are paper.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's a literal checklist.
Again, if you are a new listener here, we keep things very simple.
Real simple.
As free as possible, as simple as possible, user-friendly, and things that we will actually use.
Google Calendar.
Right.
Okay, I'm done. Okay. Moving on. How long do you hang on to an unresponsive lead?
It depends, but I usually do my major clean out around the holiday time.
Okay.
When I am getting ready to send Christmas cards, I'm not only tidying up the database, but I'm also just tidying up my Trello where I keep all those. And sometimes I'm like, I've emailed this person so many times. If they need me, they know where to find me.
Yeah.
And I just cut my losses. Now, when I was brand new and doing so much phone duty, oh my gosh, I look back on I called until people told me to go away.
Stop it.
And my thought is, if they want you to go away, they will tell you. And I've used scripts before that have helped me get them to tell me to go away.
Like,
for example, hey, I'm updating my files and I just got to yours and I wanted to see if you still had interest in buying a house or if you no longer need help from me.
Yeah.
I'm giving you permission
just
to
be like,
tell me.
I don't need that anymore.
And once I started saying things like that, I started getting responses.
Okay, well, I channeled you the other day. I was pulling up my text messages. I had a client who I met from my listing. They were sign call. We did a showing. We actually did a second showing. They almost wrote an offer. Then they decided they weren't quite ready to make a move. There were a couple of issues with the house they didn't like. They were like, but we would love to work together. But, we're not really in a hurry. And so I'm like, okay. So then a few weeks go by. I don't even know how long. I reach back out. I'm like, hey, just letting you know something has changed with the house you looked at. How are things going? I'm just here if you need anything. Nothing. I'm like, oh, this is probably not going to work out. I mean, like, they weren't a referral, like, whatever.
Right.
So that was on March 27th when I said that ghosty. Then this past Tuesday, which would be early April, so maybe a week later, I was like, hey, just checking in. How are y'all? Seen it, even though they did not respond to my last text, I'm like, I'm going to try again.
Sure.
Hey, just checking in. How are y'all? Seen anything you want to take a look at? I'm like, okay, they didn't want to hear about my listing, but maybe I can just be like, do you want to see something else? Let me know if your time frame to move has changed and I'll take you off my list to check in with. Also wanted to let you know something about the house. Okay, fine. Immediate response.
Oh, good.
I'm like, well, yeah, 30 minutes later. Hey, thanks for letting us know. We were just casually looking right now. I'll let you know if we see anything. Had a kid in the hospital, blah, 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 blah.
People have lives. They have stuff going on. They have reason to pause their house hunts.
Yeah. She was like, we just went to Disney. Now I have a kid at the ER. She was like, I don't have time to look for a house today.
Right.
Like, I have better things to do with my time. So it's like, I get it, girl. Yeah. I'm not trying to harass you. Also, I could have taken it personally.
You could have.
Oh, she ghosted me.
Right.
I'm not going to ask anymore. Or I'm going to say something else that's more like, when do you want to see this house? Or here's another house. But I was just like, hey, do you not want me to follow up? Because I'm totally, like, just let me know. And she was like, oh, no, we'll tell you when we see something we want to see.
Yes. And I like how it wasn't just a, hey,
That doesn't work.
Checking in. Like, you had information about the house that they looked at with you.
And let me tell you, if someone has already semi-ghosted you, just a hey is not going to cut it.
No.
We have got to encourage them to say something. All right, but do you have a time frame
No, I don't.
that?
I don't have a hard stop. I say I evaluate once or twice a year, or if my Trello prospects or lists are getting too long, I'm like, I need to clean this out because I need to know where to focus my energy.
Because you're also trying to clear out your head.
Yes.
I need to clear some space in here. Like, I can't be like, oh, I'm looking for this in this area, but you actually don't want to buy anything anymore? Fine.
Right.
Move on. Okay, are you ready for, I'd like to hear about a day in the life for each of you. And it says, it feels like your businesses have changed to allow other, air quotes, interest in.
Other interest.
I'd like to know more about that and how it's going.
I guess that means the podcast.
I think that would be our other interest.
Yeah. I have the hardest time answering this question, and I get this question a lot.
The day in the life?
No day is the same.
No, the only ones we can maybe say are close at this point is
Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Are the podcast days.
So when we started the podcast in 2019, we just met on Tuesdays.
Yep. We would record, do a little tiny bit of admin.
Yeah, check email.
The end.
Then it got to where it was growing.
Yeah, and we didn't sell any products or have anything until we were 6 months in. So we were at most just meeting, coming up with ideas, recording episodes, the end.
Right.
We didn't have as much back-end admin.
It wasn't a business. It was just fun.
Yes.
Which is what we always thought it would be.
It is
still fun,
it's
it's actually a business now, which is mind-blowing to me.
Right. So your day in the life on Tuesday, Thursday, pretty...
Yes. So now it's Tuesday, Thursday.
Regimented.
For the most part, it has been so great designating Tuesdays and Thursdays.
To be fair, I think anyone can do this in their business for any reason. You want to work at your kid's school on Tuesdays or Thursdays or Monday or Wednesday, Friday or whenever. You want to always spend the whole day with your family on Saturday. You just make a rule.
Right.
You put it in your business. Does that mean that we don't make changes sometimes? No.
Yeah. I mean,
like, there are weeks when we don't meet if our kids are out of school.
Right.
So,
like right now, as we're recording, we're prepping for summer and our kids being out of school all summer.
Where we meet much less, and being out of the routine is very uncomfortable. It's like
it is hard.
I love the summer and I hate the summer because I love the routine and I hate just like loafing around. I want to sleep late, but I also want to be able to be like, hey, this is what's happening every day. Everyone's going to leave and we're going to clean up and we're going to. Anyway, as far as a real estate day in the life, I again don't know that you could. I can't tell you what I'm going to do.
No.
Friday, I have 2 closings. I'll be doing that most of the day.
Yes.
Which means on Thursday, I have a walkthrough. Like, I just, what's happening?
Like, tomorrow I'm showing houses and going to a class at my office.
Right.
But that's not every Friday.
That's a weird Friday.
That's a weird Friday.
I feel like every day in real estate is like a mixed bag. Who's to say?
Yeah, I will say every day I'm making sure my email's okay.
Okay.
Like I do have time available each day to sort of dive into my email.
Yeah.
But sometimes if I know the next day is lighter, I'll just peek in there. And if I see it's not time sensitive, I just save it for the next day.
Yeah.
I love coffee shop working.
Yeah. We talk about this a little bit in the time blocking episode, which was not too far back. But it's funny to me because it reminds me of when you read about toddlers' diets, how they eat, how a toddler eats.
Yeah.
People will be freaking out. My baby ate no food at lunch today and no food at dinner. And then maybe 2 days later, they ate 3 sandwiches at lunch. So it's like, you kind of have to look at the whole sum of the week.
Yes.
And just be like, are they eating? Every meal isn't going to be a success. But it's sort of like this with I'm just looking at my overall week as an agent. I couldn't even begin to be like, every day is always this. Every day is always this.
So Wednesday, I was supposed to show houses.
Okay.
2 of the houses were not available.
Okay.
Tenant occupied. They asked if we could come Friday, which is why I'm showing houses on Friday now.
Okay.
Well, they didn't tell me that until late Tuesday night. So Wednesday, after the kids went to school,
you were like, oh.
I got back in bed with my laptop and I sat there with my heated blankie and my puppy dog and my laptop and I just cranked out so much computer stuff.
Yeah.
I got so ahead. I even returned some things to Old Navy that I've been needing to do.
This is going great.
It was just so nice.
Yeah.
And made me realize, like, I need to do this more.
Yeah. The in your house office day. Very important. Okay. We also do cover our morning and evening routines in episodes 87 and 89.
Yeah. Mine hasn't really changed much.
It's been a while since we recorded those, but I don't think mine have either.
Yeah, because my kids are still in the same season.
Yeah.
And I can't get in bed early enough. Like, I would get in bed so early if I could. Like, 7 o'clock if I could.
I'm more of a night owl.
Yeah.
But I would like to stay in bed later in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so that's your day in the life. I really didn't answer that much at all.
That's okay.
It's okay. Moving on to mindset, confidence, and business growth.
Okay, you want me to read it?
Yeah.
As a newer agent, I'm in my second year, I'm curious, when you felt like you made it in real estate and you knew it was going to be a sustainable career for you, was it a number of transactions? Was it income earned? Was it feeling confident in yourself? What was it?
So many of those things.
I know, a combination.
I would definitely say there is a confidence level later in my career, and I mean like 10 plus years or maybe 8 plus years where I was like, okay, I know what to do.
Yeah.
I know what to do in this situation, in that situation. If a seller calls me, if a buyer calls me, I feel really comfortable going to a listing appointment. That's when I think you know you've made it. If you feel comfortable going to a listing appointment, you got your stuff.
I used to get so nervous.
Yeah.
I don't remember when that stopped though.
But I would feel like that's like when I look at it now, I'm like, that's the confidence level that I would say making it is. But maybe you've made it when you stop crying if you lose a deal.
I have a distinct moment where I remember I had a terrible thing happen with one of my big transactions. And Tanner was like, "Are you okay? What happened?" And I told him. And he was looking at me and I was like, "What?" And he said, "You're not crying."
Yes, this is a big moment.
And I was like, I think I'm getting stronger.
Right.
I think I'm getting
And it's just
stronger.
like, it's not as devastating when your business is more consistent.
Yes.
I think that's when you've made it.
I also think when you are desperate for money, and I mean desperate, and your livelihood depends on this transaction, it is so hard to operate correctly.
I mean, it's definitely hard to operate without high levels of stress.
Right.
Like,
But once I got to the point where I'm like, I can't want this more than you do.
Right.
I'm not here to make you buy this house.
Yeah, making it would be like, I don't really want to work with you.
Yes. Making it is, I don't go to this parish anymore.
I can walk away from this if you won't do your homework.
Correct.
I will not take your photos if you won't clean your house. Yeah, that's definitely a sign of making it. Also, I feel like somewhere around, someone told me, and I feel like it was pretty accurate. They're like, oh, right around year 5, those referrals will just turn on. Now, I don't know if that number is a little different now because people stay in their house longer. So back when I started 5 years, people would generally be moving. But I do think that when you start to get referrals as a 25% or more of your business, then you've made it.
Yeah. I would think that's a great way to judge it.
A designator.
I also feel like at the end of my first year, my first full year, when I got the Rising Star Award, it made me go, oh, I did good? I didn't know that
you didn't know any different.
I didn't know. And so I was like, maybe I am good at this. Maybe.
Yeah, sometimes you don't see it because it's a slow progression.
Very slow.
Yeah. Okay. Next, I am an agent struggling to stay organized and stay in business. I made some bad business decisions this year on expenses. How do I recover?
First of all, I think it was really brave of you to be able to write this and put it in writing and admit that you made mistakes.
I bet there's a bunch of people nodding their head in their car.
So many agents just can't admit that they're the problem.
Or that look, it's okay if we've made a mistake. I invested money in this. It sounded good at the time. They promised me something they didn't deliver.
Right. What now?
What now? So what now, Alyssa? What now?
Well,
how do I recover?
I think it's a great time to take some inventory.
Yeah.
Of what have I already purchased that I haven't used?
Yes.
And do I need it? Can I use it? Can I use the resources I have? Maybe do like a no spend month.
I like that idea. Just sort of turn off the faucet.
Yes. Stop the bleeding.
Stop the bleed. We need to stop the bleeding. Number 1.
Take inventory. Evaluate what you have. Y'all, there's so many free resources.
Oh my gosh, for days.
For agents. Whether it's us, whether it's your board, your broker, doing open houses.
Yeah.
There's more than enough free stuff.
Yeah.
Resources available to agents that you would never have to buy anything.
Right. If you were just learning and implementing all the free tools, you would have more than enough to fill all your time.
Yeah. And then, having a goal set to build back up some sort of cushion.
Yeah.
So that you're not in the hole.
Yeah. I'll give another real interesting practical tip. Okay. So let's say you made some bad choices, but they're like subscription services.
Okay.
You're like, I'm signed up for this leads for 6 months or a year. I'm signed up for this software for 6 months or a year. I heard an agent and a class taught this once. They were like, oh, I cancel my credit card once a year. I just say it's lost or stolen.
Okay.
I cancel it. Everything that was attached to that will reach out to me and be like, hey, your credit card is declined. And be like, oh yeah, I'm sorry. It was stolen. I don't have another, just kind of be like, sorry, no.
Yeah. And evaluate. Do I even want to renew that?
Do I even want to turn you back on? Now, look, I don't know if you sign a contract on something. I'm sure there's some places that you might have to finish paying.
Yeah.
But it is kind of a clever way to also trigger yourself to realize I was signed up for all this stuff. I didn't even realize.
Yeah.
What is that app that I've seen advertised, like Rocket Money or something? This is not sponsored because I literally don't know what it's called.
Yeah, where it tells you your subscriptions.
Yes.
And people are like, how many subscriptions do you think you have? And people are like, I don't know, 3 or 4.
They're like, you have 30.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the point.
Yes.
You don't even know what you're spending money on.
But I know this is crazy, and I know I already said this, but it's so rare to hear an agent reach out and be like, I'm in a bad spot and it's kind of my fault. I think so many people want to blame their broker, their spouse,
team leader,
the market. Everybody is the problem except their own behavior.
Yeah.
So I just thought it was really brave to even ask this question.
I agree. I love that. Do you want to read the next one?
Yeah. Okay, next question is, I'd love some advice on preparing to be busy. This year, I'm aiming to grow from 6 million in sales to 10 million. All of the top producers in my office seem to give the same advice. Summer is always hard. There's not much you could do to make it easier. It's just busy. You just have to power through. What are other things I could be doing to be proactive instead of reactive?
Okay, well, good news. We have an entire episode, number 33, Preparing for Busy.
We have some really good old episodes.
I know, and if you're newish here, even if you've only been here, if you've been here for a whole year, you've missed this real gold.
So good.
In the first year, the first 50 are like,
so good.
The basis of our businesses.
Yeah.
We have revisited some of those topics, but not all of them. Okay, so preparing for busy is really important. I love some of the things that you talk about in there, like, okay, well, in the spring, you are going to clean your signs, order new ones, get your hair done, like literally do all the things that take time that you might not have time for in the busy season of summer.
Right.
Also, I think maybe a boundaries episode would be good here.
Yeah.
Like you have to take a day off.
Sure.
You don't just power through 7 days a week working in the summer when everyone else is out having fun and the kids are out of school and like people are on vacation and you're just like, gotta work.
Yeah, no vacation at all.
No, that's crazy. I think you can take a day off, a weekend off. You need to figure out your support systems and then just hold yourself accountable to your boundaries. What I don't like about the summer is that my rule, that's why I love when the time changes. And it gets dark earlier because my rule, I don't show houses in the dark. This is not allowed. But here in the deep South, in the middle of summer,
so bright outside,
freaking bright until 8:30. I mean, like I could be showing a house at 8 p.m. I mean, like we have to have some rules.
Yeah,
like I'm just not going to do it. But you make your own rules and you hold yourself accountable. Feeling like something might slip through the cracks in your transactions?
Not anymore. We've got you covered with the Hustle Humbly buyer and seller transaction checklist.
They walk you through every step from pre-listing or pre-offer all the way to post-closing.
These checklists can be used however you need. Uploaded to your CRM, a transaction management software, your Trello, or even handed to an office admin or your assistant.
So you stay organized, deliver consistent service, and never miss a beat.
Whether you're brand new or a seasoned pro, these checklists help you work smarter, not harder.
Get yours at hustlehumblypodcast.com/checklist to run your business with confidence and ease.
When I'm super busy, staying on top of my email is the most important thing.
Yeah.
Because, we have our own to-do list, but my email is my to-do list that other people need from me.
Yeah.
So if there is a repair request in there or an inspection report that I need to draft a repair response, or a lender needs an addendum, or a title company needs my seller's information, that is sort of I'm a checklist person.
Yeah.
I like to check it off the list.
Yes.
I know if it's in my email, it's getting done.
Yeah.
And that's the only way I can handle the super high volume.
Yeah.
Is making sure that stays tidy.
So maybe another way we want to tell them to prepare for busy is to get that email tidy.
Yeah.
How can you even use your email if there's 20,000 emails in the inbox? And let's talk about the tip I just sent you the other day. Do you remember what it was?
Yes, that was a good one.
Okay, so if you're in your email and you filter your messages by the word unsubscribe, you will immediately get all of the messages that are from something that is
a subscription.
Either an advertisement or something. It could still be a newsletter you signed up for, but if it has an unsubscribe, it's coming from a business.
Right.
So you can kind of go through that list really quickly and mass delete or even unsubscribe from some of these things before you hit your busy season.
Yeah.
Clean email would be crucial
to surviving a really busy time.
Yeah, because things will get lost if not.
Yeah.
Things will get lost. Okay, are you ready for the next one?
Yeah.
Let's go from busy to not so.
Right.
Next question. November through February were very sad months and it was scary.
Oh.
My pipeline feels good right now, but I want to strive for consistency. How do I know if I'm doing enough to continue to bring in business?
Wow.
It's a lot to unpack here.
It is a lot to unpack.
One, yes, November through February were tough.
Still tough.
Still tough depending on where you are and what you got. Do you got a bunch of listings? Are they sitting? It could be really tough. But if your pipeline feels good, I don't know that now is the time that I would be worried, but you just don't stop doing whatever it is that got your pipeline full.
And that is where agents go wrong. They are so concerned with getting business that once they get a lead or a client, they drop everything.
We have to keep both of these balls in the air.
Always. You
Current
cannot drop one.
Pipeline, future pipeline.
Yes.
Must always be in the air.
The current and future pipeline have to keep going together. Or you're going to find yourself having a closing with that one and then having to start all over.
Yeah.
In real estate, if you have nothing pending, you're not getting a paycheck for at least 30 days.
At least.
So it's crucial to make sure that you maintain consistency and continue doing the things and showing up to the events that you get invited to meet people and grow your database and do all the things you do to get business needs to keep happening even when you're busy.
Yeah, I think the key part here too is tracking. Do you know why your pipeline is full now? Go through the list right now as you're thinking about this and make a note. Okay, I got this person from an online lead. I got this person from an open house. I got this person from a family, referral. Where did they come from?
Yeah.
Then okay, well, 75% of this were referrals from my database. Then I need to make sure I stay in touch with my database during this time if I want to keep this pipeline full.
Yes.
It's pretty simple. But you have to know where it comes from.
Yeah.
But also, I don't know if we need to put the kind of pressure on ourselves to be like, am I doing enough to stay in business? I'm like, either you're getting enough paychecks to pay your bills or you're not. And I don't know how long. After 6 months, I feel like if you're in a struggle season and you make it through a year and it's still a struggle season, maybe it's not for you.
Yeah.
What is the time frame you think? obviously this is hard for us to determine because we made it through.
Yeah, and I do think that every person is totally different.
Right.
I feel the worst for those that jump into real estate from a career when they don't have a support system of money or a spouse that's bringing in a secondary income. The ones that have little kids and desperately need the money to happen. It's very stressful for me.
Yeah.
I started before I was married.
Me too.
So I was able to sustain myself before without proper savings, I think it's very tough to handle.
We have an episode that's, remember, should you renew your license?
Mm-hmm.
That one's good because it asks the questions. Here are the questions to ask yourself to decide if you are going to be able to survive.
That is a really good list of questions.
Okay, great. Well, we'll put that in the show notes, what episode it is. Okay, are you ready for the next one?
Mm-hmm.
Will you read it to me?
What is something you invested in for your business that felt scary at the time, but paid off in the long run? This can be monetary or emotional.
Oh, emotional.
Yeah.
Or like time?
Yeah.
Okay. What is your answer for this?
I think mine was realizing I needed to hire my first assistant when I got pregnant with Haven. I was so afraid about it. And I've never had a team, so I never had a buyer's agent or anything. And the assistant process only confirmed that I won't either.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to be emotionally
you need
responsible.
Support, but you don't want to, like...
Yeah, I'll pay you to help me and hope that through being my assistant, you will have some residual income and learn a lot. And hopefully one day your business thrives because of your time with me. But I don't want to be responsible for your livelihood.
Right.
So hiring the assistant was a big leap of faith for me. It made me have to explain what goes on in my brain, which was really hard at first. Like I thought I had systems in place, but they weren't.
Like it was just all.
Yeah, like to verbalize them and put them on paper was very difficult. But even at, my first assistant, it just, now I couldn't imagine not having someone in the back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I would say if we want to go monetary, when I was, I don't know, 3-4 months in, is when I first bought online leads. And that's how my business survived because it was before I had the confidence to go really talk to my database. I was like, these are strangers. I don't care if I
mess up,
if I get this wrong.
And you're still learning, so you could practice.
But I mean, that was 2006. So they cost $250 a month. I mean, like price-wise.
It's so different now.
It's so different now. Am I saying that online leads are the answer? Probably not. Because for me, I could invest $250 is not a lot.
No.
Not in a business now. When you think of all your real estate business expenses, that was nothing. And I was getting like 70 to 100 leads.
Whoa.
In a month.
Can you imagine?
In a month.
That's crazy.
Can you imagine? And still they only turned at a pretty low percentage, 3%, 5%, but that's enough.
Yeah.
When you're brand new. I mean, I did 16 transactions in my very first year.
That's amazing.
It's a lot.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
But the majority of them came from there. Okay. So, yes, that was very scary for me because it was like a 6-month commitment and it was $250 a month. And look, to be fair, although that's a small number now, for me then, I only had the one job and I wasn't getting paychecks. And my first paycheck didn't come for 6 months. It was a very scary investment. But good thing I did it.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't be here.
You know what's funny is that when I was at LSU as a college student, and I was working on getting my real estate license. And through the LSU real estate department, someone put out an ad for a buyer's agent.
Okay.
And when I looked up who it was actually a lady that I know very well.
Okay.
I grew up with her kids. We were the same age. She I've been to her house when I was little.
Okay.
So I thought, this is going to be perfect.
Yeah.
This is going to be my in into real estate. She was a RE/MAX agent. And I just knew this was a sign. This was a sign.
I like it.
That I am going to go be her assistant, her buyer's agent. I'm going to be a RE/MAX agent. This is going to be awesome. And so I called her And I was like, I saw your ad and I'm almost done with my license. And she was like, oh my gosh, I'm so devastated. And I said, why? And she said, I just hired someone. And I went, no.
You're like, but it was supposed to be me.
It was supposed to be me. This was my sign. It found me at LSU. We found each other, our past. And I just knew I was going to be on her team.
And you would have. She would have hired you.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Had that not happened, look at my journey, how different it would be. Starting off as a solo agent, figuring it out.
Calling 100 for sale by owners.
Making it work. I mean, my career would have been totally different.
Definitely.
I also think back to a time when my career would have been totally different. I had an opportunity to interview for an agent position with builders and developers in a huge new subdivision.
Okay.
And I was pretty much promised it. And then something happened that I won't get into.
Okay.
With another agent.
Okay.
And I basically was like,
this isn't going to work.
This isn't going to work.
Not a fit.
Yeah, not a fit. I don't want to do this. But that was also very early in my career.
Okay.
And also, I was just as confident about that. I was telling my dad how great it was going to be.
This is going to be it.
This is going to be it.
Everyone has those stories of like, I thought this was it.
Yeah.
And it didn't work out.
I just really thought, and again, looking back on it, I'm like, thank God.
Yeah, that would have been totally different also.
That would have been all I did for work.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have this.
That's almost like a salaried job.
Yes. Yes. I would have been limiting myself looking at where I'm at now.
Yes.
Looking back, I see that. But both of those things would have totally changed the story of my real estate journey.
Fascinating.
Did you ever have any pivotal moments where you're...
Well, interestingly, yes, I'll give you one. I was about to quit.
Real estate?
Yes, I picked a broker. It was a large one. The office was very big. I felt very small. It was
Were you new?
When I was brand new.
Okay.
The first place I went. I interviewed a couple, but that was where I went. It did not go well. I was not making money. And I was like, this is not it. I'm going to quit. And then I went to an LSU football game, tailgating, and I saw the agent who had sold us our house like 6 months prior. So before I bought a house right before I got my real estate license. Okay. I guess maybe I thought he did it. I could do it.
Yeah.
Right. So I see him and he's like, how's it going? And I'm like, oh, I got my license, but I don't think it's going to work out. Nothing's happening and, it's just not a fit. And he's like, oh my gosh, you need to come work in my office. I'm not there anymore. I'm doing construction, but my broker is so great. And she'll take you everywhere and teach you. And it's what you need. And I was like, all right. And so I reached out to his broker, small office, 5 agents, independent. And I went there and she taught me everything I needed to know. And so I didn't quit. And then I bought so I met her and I do that. And then I start buying the online leads. It was all in the same time frame.
What if you hadn't seen him at the tailgate?
I would have quit.
Yeah.
I would have quit.
Then what? What was your backup plan?
I don't know.
Back to retail?
Back to retail. Whoa.
Oh, no.
Oh, no is right. Oh, no is right. But I just saw him. And I didn't lie. I could have been like, it's great. Everything's great.
Yeah.
It's great, great, great.
Right.
But I didn't. I was like, it's bad. I don't think it'll work out.
Yeah.
He's like, no, don't quit. I can see it in my mind's eye. That was over, it was 20 years ago, And then I was there at that small office and it was going great and I love my broker. And then they were closing down that office and she opted to join this RE/MAX. And I was like, well, that sounds good. And then I really feel like...
Was she a RE/MAX?
Well, no, they were independent.
Oh, okay.
And then they were closing because it was owned by a mortgage company.
I see.
Like a local mortgage company. And they were like, we'll just have a real estate office, whatever. This is before RESPA.
Okay.
For the record.
Yeah.
Anywho, they were closing. And so she was like, I'm going to join this RE/MAX. Everyone can come. And I'm like, okay. So, and then I found myself there. And I think that RE/MAX was a really good fit for me. It was just it's a very professional environment. And so, yeah, those things were important.
Yeah.
But I did not seek them out.
Very interesting.
All right, let's do another one.
All right. What is something that we as listeners would be surprised to know about what it takes to run Hustle Humbly and stay motivated doing it? It certainly can't be easy, but we're so grateful for your time and energy to keep going.
I know we looked at these questions before we got on the air, and I was like, stay motivated.
We love it.
I know, it's so fun.
I have trouble staying motivated to go back and sell real estate.
Like, Alyssa, you're going to have to sell those houses so you'll have something to talk about.
I know. It's like I go out into the world of real estate to do
serving this
field research. Is that what they call it?
Oh my gosh. The other day when I had to do that open house, I'm like, I do not want to do this open house, but we were going to do an episode. I'm like, great. It'll be research.
Yes.
And I'm so much more excited. So yeah, I feel like my real estate career in some ways is serving the podcast.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm for sure motivated. Also, when you ask about what it takes to run it and what you would be surprised to know, I mean, we've told you very openly that we're here Tuesdays, Thursdays. That's a lot of hours that are not recorded on air.
Correct. Yes. I mean, each episode is 45 minutes and we are together, a lot during the week.
14 hours maybe?
Even on the days I'm not here, we now have a full-time marketing manager that runs our social media and handles all of that. I, to this day, will probably always, I can't believe it is what it is.
I mean, it's a business.
Yes.
And it is a service. It is both things. And it is an education platform. It is a community. It is a lot of things. But it is a lot of behind the scenes minutia of running. It doesn't, a lot of people are like, oh, I'd love to have a podcast. That sounds fun. I love talking to my friend about this. I'm like, that sounds great. But it's not like, yes, could we pick up a phone and record and hit a button to upload it to some service? Sure. That does not sound like our style.
No, we've sort of outgrown that, you know?
I mean, so it's just it doesn't, like we've said before, nothing good and nothing that makes money happens without work.
I do think we make it look easy because we're so fun.
Well,
we just
we
love
are
each other.
having fun.
Yeah, we're having fun talking to each other.
Right. We would have had the same conversations off air.
Correct.
So I think that also probably reads like we're just having a chat. You just happen to get to listen to it.
And sometimes if we're eating lunch and start having a chat, we're like, wait.
Don't do it.
Don't have it because we need to save it for when we're recording because we don't write things out. We don't
No.
There's not much. There's no scripting that goes into any of our episodes. People ask, well, how's the editing? We try not to edit at all.
Yeah, that's why you're getting that feeling of people having a conversation. We're not pulling out every single pause, every single whatever.
Yes.
It's not that polished.
It's just real.
It's just real. So that's the behind the scenes.
Yeah, and we will probably never run out of things to talk about.
If we haven't done it now.
Yeah.
I don't know how we would.
We do keep all of our ideas on a spreadsheet that we go through.
Yeah, we have systems.
We do have systems.
If you don't have systems, it's just like our real estate business. If you don't have systems, it would not work.
No, we have templates that we use because we get the same emails from our listeners over and over.
I'll say this really quick since this has come up with the systems. I made a document. Basically, I had someone reach out to me that wanted some information on podcasting. I said, look, I'm happy to do a call with you. I'll charge a little consulting fee. I'll answer whatever questions you have. She was actually a social worker. She sent really insightful questions, but I was like, ooh, these are so meaty. I don't know if I can get it all out in an hour. So I typed up all the responses. It's like a 3-page document of how and what, all podcasting questions. And when I mean to tell you, it's so good.
Yeah.
It is so meaty. It could be its own thing, but I was just like, what? She was like,
can
wow.
They buy it? They're going to, anytime you talk about something like this, our email when it airs.
Caution people. If you really want to get into podcasting, I'm happy to talk to you about it, but it is a job.
It's a job.
It's a job. So it is the best job, but it is a job. And if you're serious about it, then yes, I'm happy to do some consulting.
Right.
For a fee.
For a fee.
For a fee. I mean, this is a lot. There's a lot to answer.
A lot of time.
Okay, let's move on. We're going to do one more question, and then we'll break this up into our second part.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, because this is the last one of this category.
Okay.
Do you have any recommendations for agents moving to a new area? I've been in real estate for 9 years, and I just moved to South Carolina.
Nice.
Speaking of, we're going to go to South Carolina.
Yeah, I think, will we have been there by the time this airs?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, great.
So if you hear this,
we're going in May.
We'll be there in the middle of May.
Yeah.
Okay, bye. All right, I live in a great neighborhood. Each month, a group of ladies get together for a wine cheese event. So I've been able to meet a few of the ladies. And of course, I have my church peeps.
Okay.
So she's like, what do I do? She's in a new area.
Well, that's awesome that she's already got a built-in community within the neighborhood that she lives in.
Step 1, check.
You can do nothing without people.
Gotta have the people.
So I don't care if you're a brand new agent or new to an area. Without people, you can't sell any real estate.
No.
So it's just beefing up that database to collect as many people as you can, whether that's from volunteering, joining groups, being involved at kids' school, getting to really know your hairdresser. I was trying to think the other day, like the girl who does my hair, I've sold her house. The girl who's done my spray tans, I've sold her house. Like almost every service that I've ever done for myself, I have pretty much been their agent.
Right. I have told this on this show before, if you have a hairstylist who sees so many other people and they have an agent that they have a very firm relationship with, you should probably just find a new hairstylist.
Yeah.
You keep looking until you find one that's got a good business, but that needs a realtor.
Yes.
Because you need to be like the salon realtor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Also, episode 264.
Mm-hmm.
Christine Cooper she's actually from Louisiana. We did not know her then. She moved from the Seattle, Washington area to Madison, Wisconsin a couple of years ago. We interviewed her. Her interview is so good.
Mm-hmm.
And she knew no one when she moved to Wisconsin. So it's a really great kind of like, how did someone transition their business? Did they try to hang on to the old business? What did they do to start the new one? And it's lots of practical tips.
Yeah.
Since neither of us have relocated our business, I think that's the one you need.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's it for Q&A for today.
Awesome.
We'll have a little toast.
Oh,
you have a toast.
I have a toast.
Do the toast.
Ready?
I cannot wait.
Okay, so I'm actually going to read this toast. It's from Tara Babineau, and she is from Louisiana, not in our market.
Okay.
She's in Lafayette.
Love it.
So first of all, I'm just going to read her email. First of all, ladies, I'm obsessed with your podcast. So sweet.
So sweet.
I'm actually sending this to be a toast for my mentor, Debbie Green. She has just been such a gift. She is smart and has so much fun in the business. She serves her clients like no one I've ever seen. She works hard for each client and has a huge heart for people. I'm often told by colleagues that I have an amazing mentor. She is so well respected in the industry. I think the reason she is so great is because she cares. She treats all of her clients the same. She has been available to me to answer my questions and continues to be supportive and cheer me on. Debbie's support is why I thrived my first year of real estate. She's one of the good ones, and I'm so grateful for her.
Oh, cheers to Debbie. She sounds amazing.
Debbie does sound amazing.
I love when everyone tells her that you have a great mentor.
Yeah. Like,
that's
wow,
nice.
That's awesome.
That's really good.
Okay, well, we will do the second part of Q&A
in 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks. We'll finish up these questions.
We'll be back.
Thank you so much for tuning in to the Hustle Humbly podcast.
If you enjoyed this episode, please go to ratethispodcast.com/hustlehumbly and leave us a review or drop a comment if you're listening on Spotify.
If you have an episode topic or someone you'd like to toast on the show, please email us at team@hustlehumblypodcast.com.
Find us on social media at Hustle Humbly Podcast. Don't forget to find all of the free resources at hustlehumblypodcast.com/resources.
See you next week.
This is the good life.